everybody, today we are going to tell you about how we lost the pigs on Sunday. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button, and
welcome to another episode here on Homestead.
Like and subscribe if you feel so led.
Yep.
Like Kate said, we are going to show you guys exactly what happened on Sunday when we lost the pigs. So this is going to be episode 5 in Pigtails, and we're going to walk through this from what we came home to from church on Sunday to where the pigs are now.
And that's where we're going to go.
Yep.
I always get my mittens in my pockets.
That's right. Okay, so this is where they were on Sunday, right here, where you can see Cade. This is where we were, the pigs were on Sunday.
But then,
Yep.
then we moved them a lot.
We came home, and I had stayed late for church to meet some people. And we came home, and the fence in this section right here was laying flat on the ground. In other videos, I have told you all that the pigs sometimes will root up dirt onto the bottom wire of the fence, but they have never got out, and they've never tried to get out even after they have piled dirt on the bottom strand. So we had this big plan of getting all hands on deck because we were gonna move the pigs from our uphill pasture to our pasture down there where you see them now. But all of that went out the window when we came home to see that the fence was down and the pigs were out. As we walk down to show you where the pigs are now, I'll tell you what happened.
So let's go to the pigs!
Last week, my wife April and I moved the pigs. We didn't do a video of that because we've done enough pig moving videos and we were in a hurry, so we just wanted to get it done fast, and so we did. But as I had the back of the fence down, we are following you, Cade, I saw 3 dogs
About the size of
running up that hill, which is also a hill that we own.
About the size of a tiger, you also said.
No.
You
The
said
size
it
of
last
another dog named Tiger.
I found a nice white stick.
Cool. So we saw those 3 dogs, and we've seen them on our property before, but they're husky type dogs that are running around on our property. So we saw those last week, and I think what happened was, while we were at church, those dogs came up and they got the pigs so scared of them that the pigs were more concerned with getting away than they were with actually getting zapped by the fence. So this middle strand here was pulled up all the way out of the ground and laid flat on the ground, and that's how the pigs got out. Well, as I came home and noticed that that had happened, Cade, leave that fence on.
No.
Turn it on. We inspected the paddock, found that the pigs were missing. Just then, our neighbor showed up and said, "Hey man, we got your pigs in someone's yard up in the trailer park. You need to come get them. They're just laying there. They're bleeding through the nose, both of them, and they won't move." So let me show you how far away these pigs were.
Can I say something in the video?
Yes, in a second.
Okay.
So I'll show you now how far away these pigs were
What's up?
when we got home from church on Sunday. What is that?
A Nerf gun!
Dude,
Sweet.
we just found that in the field. Nice. You can bring that with. Here we are where we found the pigs. We are in the neighborhood that is right behind our house. And this is where we found them. There's this road. And they were right here. The female was so stressed out. Look what Kate found. That's awesome. Nice shooting. The female was so stressed out. She was right there. She was shaking. They were both bleeding from the nose. And the male was so weak, he could hardly stand. So here is where we found them, and a straight line that way is our house. So we're about a half mile or more from our house, and I'll show you what we did next. Fortunately, my friend Terry was with me. And once I got with the pigs and knew they weren't going anywhere, Terry ran back to my house and got a hog panel, and we rounded those. That hog panel is 16 feet long. So we wrapped that hog panel around them. And another neighbor up here grabbed a ratchet strap and secured it so that it was enclosed completely. And we just started slowly walking the pigs down this way back to our house. But again, they were so stressed that it was really slow going. So we went through this opening in the fence and went all the way down here. And we took the long way, but this was also the easiest way to go. So we walked all the way down here. Now, this is when we decided that we were going to have the pigs, we were going to move the pigs down to that creek bottom once we got them back on the homestead. And so as Terry, Adrian, and I were handling the pigs and walking them through here, we sent my sister Caitlin back to the homestead to set up the electric netting for a paddock for the pigs in that creek bottom. And it's slow going with these kids because they got shorter legs than I do. Oh, good job. They got shorter legs than I do. But it was even slower going with these pigs because they were just exhausted. Okay, sit down and take it out. So they were exhausted, shaking, bleeding, and very sensitive, like even to touch. And they normally love it when I scratch their backs or whatever. So we brought them up here. And every time one of those pigs stopped, we stopped, so we could give them some rest. A couple of times, they just laid down. So, anyways, we walked and walked and walked through here, and this is not our property yet. Walked through here, rested, waited, and we just kept on going. And the reason that I'm doing this, showing you our exact route, is so that you get an idea of how long it actually took for us to get these pigs back. We came through this, which is an old septic field. Yeah.
I just figured out how to load this thing. It's so easy. Put the 2 darts in and then just shoot.
Cool.
This is how you load it. And then the trigger is right below where you load it.
Nice. So, we came through this, and at this point, at the end of this drain field, at this point, we still have probably 1,200 feet to go, probably more than that. So you won't see it very well from here, but we're almost to our neighbor's property now, which, good news, Caitlin and Adrian are going to be our new neighbors in the house behind ours that came up for rent, and they were able to get it rented. So Caitlin and Adrian are our new neighbors, which is exciting. I've never had in our adult life, never had my little sister live this close to me. So maybe you can begin to see that green grass there. That is the acre lot right behind our house. And this, you can see these blades of grass are all knocked over. That's for moving the pigs through. So, we kept on coming and coming and coming. And at this point, we were stopping less with the pigs. They seemed to be getting a little more comfortable with us, and a little less stressed out, especially since they recognize my voice and know me. I was talking to them and talking to Adrian and Terry as we moved. But we just marched them right through here.
We're back home.
Back onto
Our property.
the neighboring property. No, this isn't ours yet, boys.
Hey, get to your house. Peter, no shortcut.
And once we got here,
Camino.
we could make some much faster progress. Good job finding that shortcut, Cade. So, now that the boys aren't following me, I can go a little bit faster. There's our shed. There's our chicken tractor. So it took us so long that by the time we got back and saw, got the view, by the time we got back, sorry about that, to their spot where they had been chased off or run off, or I don't know, maybe accidentally got out. I'm thinking they were chased. That's their old spot. And we have this path that I had cut with our lawnmower to make a go-kart track for the boys, which you can probably see in Go-Kart Tour of the Homestead. By the time we got here, Caitlin already had that paddock set up waiting for us. So we brought the pigs down there, and Caitlin had put food and water down there for them. And then I hooked my truck up to their hay ring shelter and towed that all the way down there. We moved it in, electrified the netting, and put the pigs down there. Now, I'll walk down to show you, if I can. We'll take a look at the male's eye, because it was swollen shut when we got to him. Swollen and draining. He was in bad shape. And again, there was a lot of blood coming out of their noses and mouths. So now that it's been 2 days since they've been back, they're starting to get a little more comfortable and do some rooting, and they're a lot happier now. But let's see if we can get a good shot of this guy's eye. Hey, bud. Hey, bud, let's take a look. You see, he's still favoring it. It's still a little bit swollen, but it's open a lot more than it was before. That's what it should look like, and that's what it looks like. So here's the theory. These pigs, as I've said in other videos, these pigs, when they're rooting around, will root dirt up onto that bottom strand on the electric netting. And sometimes that causes this top line to sag a little bit. And sometimes I've seen this top line as low as, I don't know, it looks like that when it happens. That's only about a foot off the ground. And as you can see, our that's about chest height of our pigs. But they still won't go near it. They won't test the fence. They won't try to root underneath it or anything like that. When we came home on Sunday, this middle post had been pulled out of the ground and was laying flat. So my theory is that those dogs came back and started getting the pigs riled up, running around the perimeter of the fence, barking at them, threatening them. Maybe even one of them, two of them, or all of them actually jumped over, because this is only a 30-inch high fence. So maybe all three of them jumped into the paddock with the pigs, and the pigs panicked and busted through this line and then just ran. The reason I think that something spooked them, specifically those dogs, the reason I think something spooked them is that when we went to investigate, Caitlin and I came out here to see if we could find out which path the pigs had taken. And we looked very closely at their tracks. We looked very closely at the surrounding ground. Looked on our property. If the pigs had simply got out, which sometimes happens when we move them, they just hang around the homestead and start eating grass and rooting in random areas. There were no signs of that at all. And one of their favorite places to go is right behind our barn. They like to hang out there. They also like to hang out by the shed that we started them off in. There were no signs that these pigs were doing anything other than running for their lives. And they were so exhausted when we got to them. I felt really bad for them. And yesterday, as I was checking on them down there, those dogs were on our property again. And so they have been on our property 4 times in the last week. Normally there's 3 of them. There were only 2 yesterday and the day before that we saw. So I think that 3rd dog laid down and died somewhere in our woods, because I think the pigs might have tried to make a stand, which explains the bloody noses, bloody mouths, and how exhausted they were. So I'm gonna get the drone out and see if I can find a dead dog somewhere. I also called animal control yesterday to see what my options were. And they said, if you have stray dogs going after your livestock, you are well within your rights to shoot them and then call us and we'll come get them, or you can just bury them where they lay. Folks, I think that's my only option. When I saw those dogs yesterday, I've been checking every 30 minutes to make sure those dogs aren't back. And they came back, twice yesterday. And one of them was only about 20 yards from where the pigs are now. I really don't want to have to use a lethal option on these dogs, but I don't know how better to protect my pigs than to put these dogs down. So anyways, obviously I'm not going to take a video of that. That is the latest development here on Dogtown Homestead. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you feel so led. We'll see you next time.